The 60 mysterious mummies found in abandoned ancient tomb, a shocking discovery that stunned the world. In the heart of the sun-scorched desert of Luxor, a city steeped in mystery and legend, Spanish archaeologists have unexpectedly uncovered a new chapter in the millennia-old story of ancient Egypt. Deep underground, more than 20 feet beneath the surface, they discovered two ancient tombs nestled within the grounds of the tomb of Amenhotep Hui, one of the most powerful viziers during the reign of Pharaoh Amenhotep III, who ruled from 1390 to 1352 BCE. During the 18th dynasty, widely considered the golden age of the Egyptian Empire. This discovery not only enriches the global archaeological record, but also offers profound insights into ancient Egyptian beliefs about death, religion, and power. These two newly uncovered tombs are not standalone structures. Rather, they are extensions located within the courtyard of Amenhotep Hui's main tomb. This detail is particularly significant as it reveals a rare truth. The vizier's tomb was not solely a personal resting place, but had become a prestigious burial site where members of the elite sought to be laid to rest nearby. Francisco J. Martin, director of the Madrid Institute of Ancient Egyptian Studies and head of the excavation project, described the site as a rich location, emphasizing that the discovery of the two tombs at a depth of nearly 20 feet was the most important archaeological highlight of the past year. Inside the two tombs, archaeologists found around 60 mummies, some still intact, others reduced to fragmented remains, carefully buried in sealed conditions for thousands of years. Initial anthropological analyses suggest these were not ordinary citizens, but members of the upper class, likely connected directly or indirectly to the powerful priesthood at the Karnak Temple, the center of worship for the god Amun in ancient Thebes. This supports the theory that being buried near the vizier was a spiritual privilege reserved for those of high status, reflecting a belief in his continued influence beyond death. Another fascinating aspect lies in the architecture of the two tombs. Unlike the richly decorated main tomb of Amenhotep Hui, these annexes bear no inscriptions or carvings. While the vizier's original tomb features a chapel with 30 engraved columns, a powerful symbol of reverence and authority, these secondary tombs are bare. This may indicate they were constructed after the reign of Amenhotep III, during a period of changing funerary customs, or it may reflect a clear social hierarchy, distinguishing those of the highest rank from those just below them. To date, after more than 15 years of excavation, the Amenhotep Hui Tomb Project has uncovered approximately 200 mummies, a staggering number that underscores the scale and complexity of this ancient burial site. Artifacts recovered from the tomb, including an ornately decorated sarcophagus featuring the image of Amun, are now on display at the Luxor Museum, which houses invaluable relics from Egypt's golden era. These finds are living proof of the Egyptians' extraordinary craftsmanship and unshakable belief in the afterlife. And the excavation is far from over. According to Francisco Martin, by the end of September, the archaeological team will return to Luxor to continue restoration efforts on the vizier's tomb chapel, focusing especially on reconstructing 6 ancient columns, a crucial step in restoring some of the tomb's original grandeur. This is not only an act of preservation, but a way of bringing history back to life, allowing future generations to better understand the richness, solemnity, and sophistication of ancient Egyptian civilization. The discovery of the two tombs in Luxor, with dozens of mummies preserved across millennia, has captivated the world's imagination. But more than that, it serves as a reminder. Many stories remain untold, still buried deep beneath the sands. And the most astonishing truth is this: those secrets are still slowly being revealed. This is not just a story of the past, it's a living journey of the present, where each shovel strike, each fragment of pottery, each ancient mummy can rewrite an entire chapter of human history. But if you think the mummies of Luxor are the final mystery, think again. The world still holds countless unsolved secrets, from sunken cities beneath the seas of Greece to ancient cave carvings in South America to frozen tombs in Siberia. Join us as we continue this fascinating archaeological journey around the globe, where every discovery is a story and every ruin whispers a message from the past. Don't take your eyes off the screen, because right now, I'm about to reveal even more mysterious finds. If you're ready, let's begin the exploration. 5,100-year-old rock carving rewrites the history of ancient Egypt's formation. Near the city of Aswan, where the tranquil Nile River winds its way through the desert, archaeologists have uncovered a remarkable rock carving, estimated to be around 5,100 years old, that could shed light on the mysterious early phases of Egypt's first dynasty. This period marks a crucial transition between the pre-dynastic era and the birth of a unified Egyptian state under the legendary pharaoh Narmer, who is believed to have ruled around 3100 BCE. What makes this carving especially significant is its composition and visual detail. The upper body and right shoulder of a seated figure are clearly depicted, beside an elaborately adorned boat being pulled to the right by 5 other figures. Dorian van Hoel, lead researcher on the project and director of the Malgré II Museum in Belgium, explains that the boat is one of the most frequently recurring symbols in ancient Egyptian art, especially during the pre-dynastic and proto-dynastic periods, roughly 4500 to 3085 BCE, which laid the cultural and religious groundwork for the emergence of the pharaohs. These boats were not only practical vessels, but also deeply symbolic, representing sacred journeys, power, and spiritual transformation in ancient Egyptian belief. According to Van Hoel, the carving was discovered in November 2022 on the west bank of the Nile, an area rich in cultural and historical sediment. Detailed analysis of the carving suggests that the seated figure on the boat may have an unusually elongated chin, a feature interpreted as representing the false beard, a traditional symbol of royal authority worn by early Egyptian kings. Although some details are reminiscent of Narmer, the first officially recognized pharaoh of a unified Egypt, researchers have ruled out the possibility that the carving directly portrays him. The main reason is the absence of the sarek, an emblem showing a palace facade and the name of the king, typically associated with the falcon god Horus, who embodied royal power. The lack of a sarek has led Dr. Van Hoel to believe that the figure is not a reigning king from the first dynasty, but more likely someone who lived just before Narmer's reign, a transitional figure from a time when the Egyptian state was still taking shape. If this interpretation is correct, the carving could be one of the oldest known depictions of a ceremonial or state-related event, tied to the consolidation of centralized power and the formation of Egypt's first nation-state along the Nile Valley. Beyond its artistic value, this rock carving serves as a valuable key to understanding the role of symbolic art in the political and social events of early ancient Egypt. According to Dr. Van Hoel, such works were not merely cultural expressions or religious illustrations, but also functioned as official state media in the early days of Egyptian governance, used to assert authority, define territory, and communicate messages to the people. In the context of a young dynasty forming its administrative structure and social order, these rock images were like visual manifestos, simple yet powerful declarations from a newly emerging regime rising from the sands of history. This recent discovery, when examined with advanced modern tools and cross-referenced with other archaeological records, may become a critical piece in illuminating one of the most enigmatic periods in Egypt's past, a time for which very few texts or artifacts have survived. It contributes to building a more comprehensive picture of how the ancient Egyptians organized, unified, and sanctified political power, ultimately shaping one of the most influential civilizations in human history. And perhaps now you can see, while archaeologists continue to debate and analyze this carving, it's clear that the rock face near Aswan has just been awakened, telling a story never before heard. A story about the very first people who built a mighty empire along the Nile. The mysterious pink granite door, inside a 4,000-year-old tomb of an Egyptian prince. In the legendary land of Saqqara, where the mysteries of ancient Egyptian civilization continue to be unearthed and revealed, a new archaeological discovery has sparked global excitement. The tomb, believed to belong to Prince Wasserebre, son of Pharaoh Userkaf, the founding king of the 5th dynasty, was found behind a massive pink granite door, offering a rare opportunity to gain deeper insight into the history and royal lineage of Egypt over 4,000 years ago. Images of the burial site, shared by Egypt's Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities on social media, quickly drew public curiosity and astonishment due to the tomb's grandeur and uniqueness. The excavation, led by the Supreme Council of Antiquities in collaboration with the Zahi Hawass Foundation for Archaeology and Heritage, headed by the renowned Egyptian archaeologist Zahi Hawass, uncovered the tomb within the vast Saqqara necropolis, one of Egypt's most significant ancient burial grounds, where many pharaohs and high officials were laid to rest. What makes this tomb especially captivating is the beautifully carved pink granite false door with incredibly impressive dimensions, approximately 14.8 feet tall and over 3.3 feet wide, one of the largest doors ever discovered in the Saqqara region. According to Dr. Muhammad Ismail Khalid, Secretary General of the Supreme Council of Antiquities, this is the first time such a large and rare material false door has been found in the area, suggesting the exceptional status and reverence afforded to the individual buried within. Inscribed on the door's surface are detailed hieroglyphs listing the full range of Prince Wasaribre's titles, from Crown Prince to Governor of Buto and Neheb, Royal Scribe, Minister, Judge, and Priest of Ritual Recitations. These titles not only confirm his high standing within the royal court, but also reflect his diverse roles in Egypt's political, administrative, and religious life. Through these inscriptions, archaeologists gain valuable insights into how power was distributed and expressed through titles and iconography during the period. But the discoveries don't stop there. Inside the tomb, archaeologists also uncovered priceless artifacts, including a red granite offering table, a vital element in religious rituals, and a colossal black granite statue bearing the name of King Nefertari, a pharaoh of the 5th dynasty. The statue stands at approximately 3.8 feet tall and is believed not to belong to Prince Wasaribre, but rather to have originated from the much later 26th dynasty. This leads experts to believe that the tomb was reused and modified over the course of more than a millennium, demonstrating the long-standing reverence for royal ancestors across generations of Egyptian dynasties. Another intriguing aspect is the presence of statues linked to King Djoser, the great pharaoh of the 3rd dynasty, renowned for commissioning the first step pyramid in human history. Archaeologists believe these statues were not originally part of Wasaribre's tomb, but were likely relocated from chambers near Djoser's step pyramid, raising fascinating questions about how ancient Egyptians reused and preserved heritage through different eras. The research team's next mission is to determine when and why these statues were moved, a mystery that could shed light on evolving religious, social, and political beliefs in ancient Egypt. Regardless of the outcome, this discovery is more than just an archaeological event. It is a journey into the connections between dynasties, between generations who helped shape one of the greatest civilizations to ever flourish along the Nile. Sharif Fathi, Egypt's Minister of Tourism and Antiquities, called the find a landmark discovery, one that opens a new chapter for Egyptian archaeology and greatly enriches humanity's understanding of the long and intricate history of this legendary land. Through every artifact and every inscription on the pink granite door, we are not just witnessing the legacy of a prince, we are touching the heartbeat of a civilization that has captivated the imagination of history lovers and explorers for generations. The 2,000-year-old boat of Jesus. In 1986, at the Sea of Galilee, two brothers, Moshe and Yuval Lufan, amateur archaeologists, stumbled upon a remarkable archaeological treasure, an ancient wooden boat that had lain buried beneath layers of mud in the freshwater lake for over 2,000 years. While there is no definitive evidence to prove that the boat was ever used by Jesus or his disciples, it has become a powerful symbol of first-century fishing culture and is commonly referred to as the Jesus boat, a vivid representation of the historical and cultural context of that era. The story of the boat not only captured the attention of researchers, but also forged a deep emotional connection with millions of believers around the world. This ancient vessel was constructed entirely from cedar planks, joined using traditional woodworking techniques with mortise and tenon joints and wooden pegs, a common boat-building method in the Middle East at the time. Its flat-bottom design allowed it to navigate the shallow waters near the shore, making it ideal for fishing on the Sea of Galilee. Measuring approximately 27 feet in length and 7.5 feet in width, the boat could be crewed by a small team of 4 and was equipped with a single sail for propulsion when winds were favorable. According to archaeologists, boats of this kind are mentioned more than 50 times in the Gospels, underscoring their significant role in the daily life and ministry of Jesus and his disciples. The excavation of the boat began under rare circumstances. During a severe drought, the water level of the Sea of Galilee dropped significantly, exposing part of the boat's hull above the mud. This led the Lufon brothers to make the discovery and promptly report it to the Israel Antiquities Authority. A team of archaeologists launched an emergency excavation and over the course of 12 days, carefully removed thick layers of mud to preserve the boat in its original condition. News of the sensational discovery quickly spread throughout Christian and Jewish communities, prompting tight security around the excavation site. Rumors even circulated that the boat was filled with gold, intensifying efforts to safeguard the artifact. Radiocarbon dating confirmed that the boat dates back to approximately 40 BCE to 50 CE, right around the time Jesus lived. This makes it an extraordinarily valuable artifact, serving both as archaeological evidence and as a tangible link between past and present. To preserve and protect the boat, experts wrapped it in special materials like fiberglass and foam before transporting it to a display facility. For the next 12 years, it was submerged in a wax bath to prevent deterioration and to conserve its fragile wooden structure. Further examination revealed that the boat was constructed from at least 10 different types of wood, suggesting that materials may have been scarce at the time of construction or that the boat underwent multiple repairs and reuse. This highlights the adaptive nature of boat building during that era, with craftsmen making use of whatever materials were available to sustain the daily lives of fishermen. Today, the Jesus boat is carefully preserved and displayed at the Yigal Allon Museum in Kibbutz Ginosar, Israel. Thousands of visitors, particularly those of Christian faith, come to witness this tangible connection to the life and times of Jesus. The exhibition not only showcases the boat, but also offers informative displays and documentary films that detail the boat's construction, excavation, and deep historical significance. In addition, boat tours on the Sea of Galilee allow visitors to experience sailing on modern replicas of similar first-century boats. These tours provide a glimpse into the daily life of ancient fishermen and help people better understand the environment and occupations of Jesus and his disciples. In many ways, this boat is not just an archaeological treasure, but a symbol of faith, resilience, and the enduring link between past and present. Through every plank and wooden peg, the boat tells the story of a time when faith and survival on the water were deeply intertwined, creating timeless tales that continue to inspire and enrich human history. The mummified creature with human-like hands. During renovation work at Cook Sievers Hall at Michigan State University, construction workers unexpectedly unearthed one of the most bizarre and intriguing mysteries in modern archaeology: a strange mummified creature with astonishingly human-like hands. Roughly the size of a domestic cat, the small creature was named Chupacabra, a name that cleverly nods both to the university's KP, Campus Archaeology program, and to the legendary Chupacabra of American folklore, a creature said to drain the blood of livestock. But unlike mythical tales, this is a real archaeological specimen, one that remains largely unexplained and has puzzled scientists since its discovery. The creature's most striking feature is its hand. It has 5 fingers with clearly defined joints and sharp claws, resembling a human hand almost identically. Its body, however, is covered in a thin, parchment-like layer of dry tissue, with a long tail and a lean form similar to a small feline. Though its ears and nose have withered with time, they remain intact, creating a haunting and mysterious image. PhD candidate Jeriel Cartales, who is leading the investigation into the creature's identity, stated that the discovery presents a significant challenge, as it bears no clear resemblance to any known animal species. The Chupacabra was expertly mummified, but its exact age remains unknown. Since Cook Sievers Hall was only constructed in 1889, it's certain that the creature cannot predate that year. But whether it's been there for just a few months or several decades remains unclear. Radiocarbon dating could offer answers, but due to the relatively young age of the building, the method has yet to be employed. Numerous theories about the creature's origin, ranging from dog, cat, to small rodent, have been proposed, but all were gradually ruled out through detailed skeletal and morphological analysis. Preliminary X-ray scans offered the most plausible theory so far. The creature may be a raccoon. However, the dental structure remains unidentified, as most documented raccoon specimens used in paleopathology are toothless. Cartales and her colleagues are actively seeking a complete raccoon skull with intact teeth for a more accurate comparison. Another compelling theory proposed by Cartales suggests the creature may have entered the building through its ventilation system, an environment that would have provided warm, dry air during the winter months. This hot and arid microclimate, combined with the isolated enclosed ductwork, could have created the perfect conditions for natural mummification over time. This might explain why the creature remained remarkably well preserved despite being hidden for many years. Still, despite numerous clues and analyses, the true identity of the Chupacabra remains elusive. Cartales, as a scientist, acknowledges that no absolute conclusions can be made until all stages of testing are complete. But based on existing evidence, she estimates with 75% confidence that the creature is, in fact, a mummified raccoon. The discovery has not only captivated archaeologists and forensic anthropologists, but also sparked widespread public fascination, making it one of the most interesting modern mysteries surrounding a strange creature found under entirely unexpected and unique circumstances. This peculiar specimen is more than just an ordinary archaeological find. It's a living reminder that during renovation and construction, hidden surprises still await, waiting to be uncovered and decoded. It also reminds us of the vast complexity and unpredictability of the natural world and the many secrets science has yet to explain. Chupacabra is not only a mysterious mummified creature, it represents humanity's ongoing journey to uncover the unknown. It's a thrilling blend of science and wonder, drawing in anyone with a passion for archaeology or natural mysteries. And I'd guess that includes you too. The 5 horrifying archaeological discoveries around the world that will completely rewrite human history. A 2,000-year-old skeleton, smiling amid precious jewelry. On May 15th, The Sun published an attention-grabbing report about a remarkable archaeological discovery in Russia, when a farmer named Rustam Mudayev accidentally unearthed the skeleton of a man dating back some 2,000 years. After thorough examination and study, archaeologists confirmed that these remains belonged to a man with a distinctly deformed skull, a trait not uncommon among ancient nomadic tribes. And despite the harsh erosion of time, the jawbone remained intact, demonstrating the exceptional preservation of the burial site. What is even more astonishing is that beside the skeleton lay a trove of valuable jewelry buried alongside it, supporting the hypothesis that this could be the tomb of a leader from the Sarmatian tribe, one of the powerful nomadic peoples who once dominated the territory of present-day Russia around the 5th century AD. Georgy Stukalov, a scientific researcher from the Astrakhan History Museum, stated, "After carefully examining the burial area, they suspected this was a royal tomb, a type of family burial common in ancient nomadic cultures. Indeed, the skeleton was found in a wooden coffin with the head elevated higher than the body, giving the impression that the deceased was resting on a pillow, a ritual arrangement with deep cultural significance, usually reserved for high-status individuals." Alongside the remains, archaeologists uncovered a collection of daggers and many lavish gold items, including a gold belt buckle adorned with turquoise and a small golden horse head placed between the skeleton's legs. These artifacts not only clarify the noble status of the tomb's occupant, but also reflect the unique culture of the Sarmatians, renowned as traditional and powerful nomadic warriors who used the horse head as a symbol of strength and social rank. Near the main tomb, archaeologists also discovered the remains of a woman buried with a bronze mirror, a symbol of refinement and the important role of women in Sarmatian society, along with sacrificial offerings shaped like sheep and various stone items. The presence of these ritual objects indicates a complex and symbolic burial ceremony, reflecting the religious beliefs and customs of this ancient nomadic community. Not far from there, another tomb containing the remains of an elderly man was found, with artifacts decorated with silver and bronze horse heads. This further confirms that the area served as the final resting place for many individuals of status within Sarmatian society, with funerary rites conducted according to strict traditions and rules. These findings shed new light on the social system and culture of the Sarmatians, while providing valuable clues about how they built their communities, organized power, and practiced their faith nearly 2 millennia ago. The discovery of this Sarmatian royal tomb not only opens a window into the life of a powerful ancient nomadic tribe, but also showcases the miraculous preservation of artifacts and remains after thousands of years. It is a clear testament to the sophistication of Sarmatian burial rituals and their artistry in crafting jewelry and weapons. At the same time, these precious artifacts assist historians and archaeologists in reconstructing a rich historical narrative, enhancing our understanding of the social, economic, and cultural development of what is now ancient Russian territory. The collaboration between archaeologists, historians, and history museums continues to drive deeper research into Sarmatian culture while bringing their ancient story to modern audiences through exhibitions and scholarly work. This also serves as a powerful reminder that beneath the earth still lie many untapped mysteries, ready to reveal fascinating tales of civilizations long gone and the people who once lived on this land thousands of years ago. A 1700-year-old woman's skeleton with an unusually elongated skull resembling an alien. Hidden beneath the ancient soil of the majestic Caucasus Mountains in Russia, a mystery from a distant past has just been awakened. The skeleton of a woman who lived nearly 1700 years ago has been unearthed, featuring a bizarre characteristic that stunned archaeologists, a skull shaped like an elongated egg, reminiscent of extraterrestrial beings in popular culture. But what makes this discovery truly remarkable is not just the strange shape itself, but the complex historical and social stories it reveals about a civilization that once thrived in the heart of modern-day Russia. The excavation took place at the Gomurzievskoye settlement on the hillside of the Republic of Ingushetia, a strategic region nestled between the Nazranka and Sunja rivers. This was part of a collaborative project between the Caucasus Archaeological Institute and the Yevgeny Krupnov Archaeological Center, ongoing for several months. During the study of an ancient burial site, archaeologists uncovered the remains of a woman belonging to the elite class of the late antiquity period, specifically from the 4th or 5th century AD. A time when Europe was entering the Dark Ages, as profound historical upheavals swept away classical civilizations and ushered in the medieval era. The woman's skull exhibited an unusually elongated shape, rising prominently toward the back, unlike any natural form found in modern humans. However, this phenomenon was not the result of a congenital defect or supernatural influence, but rather an intentional cultural practice: cranial deformation. According to researchers from the Caucasus Archaeological Institute, during her early years, the girl's head and neck were tightly wrapped or bound with cloth bands or rings to alter the natural growth structure of the skull, creating a shape believed to symbolize nobility and power. This custom of skull shaping was practiced by many ancient peoples around the world, including the Sarmatians, Alans, and Huns, nomadic and semi-nomadic tribes who once ruled vast territories stretching from Eastern Europe to Central Asia. For them, the elongated skull was not only a mark of beauty, but also an indicator of social rank, superior intellect, or a sacred connection with the divine. Therefore, only individuals from the elite class or those with special roles in the community underwent this practice from infancy. Beyond the extraordinary skull shape, the woman's tomb also provided significant evidence about the life and culture of the community to which she belonged. Alongside the skeleton, archaeologists found a series of valuable artifacts such as weapons, jewelry, ancient pottery, and animal bones, including both wild and domesticated species. These discoveries indicate that this burial site was reserved for a high-status individual, possibly a spiritual leader, a member of royalty, or a noblewoman with considerable influence in the ancient Caucasus society. Even more remarkably, experts noted that the woman's teeth were well preserved despite having been buried underground for many centuries. This allowed researchers to analyze her diet, lifestyle habits, and health condition during her lifetime. From these insights, they can gradually reconstruct the portrait of a woman living in a turbulent era while gaining a deeper understanding of the ancient social structure and belief systems of the Caucasus region. This discovery not only enriches the knowledge about ancient civilizations that once existed on Russian territory, but also raises intriguing questions about cultural exchanges among Eurasian nomadic cultures during the post-Roman era. The 17 decapitated skeletons found in a 2,000-year-old burial site. In the peaceful countryside of modern England, buried beneath layers of ancient soil, an archaeological discovery has stunned researchers near the town of Bury St. Edmunds, Suffolk County. At the site of a Roman-era cemetery dating back approximately 2,000 years, archaeologists unearthed a total of 52 human skeletons. However, the most shocking fact was not the number itself, but that 17 of these skeletons were missing their heads. The skulls were found separated from their bodies, deliberately arranged next to the remains. A strange and haunting image that hints at ancient funeral rituals that remain a mystery to this day. At first glance, many might associate this with brutal executions often depicted in Roman period dramas. Yet, archaeologists on site quickly dismissed that theory. Andrew Peachy, a lead researcher involved in the study, emphasized that these were not the results of violence or capital punishment, but traces of a complex funerary ritual, possibly linked to a local community, perhaps a religious sect or a migrating group carrying unique customs. The distinguishing feature lies in the marks on the bones. The cuts were not made while the victims were alive but after death. This indicates that the decapitation was ritualistic, not punitive. The incisions were located just behind the jawbone, unlike the lower neck cuts expected from executions by sword or axe. This crucial detail allows researchers to clearly differentiate between religious ritual deaths and violent deaths. Preliminary analysis showed the skeletons belonged to both men and women, including 2 children around 10 years old. Most were healthy adults with well-developed arm and shoulder muscles, suggesting regular engagement in agricultural work. Some exhibited traits consistent with manual labor or crafts, reflecting the diverse social fabric of the local population during the Roman occupation of Britain. Their diet was also revealed through dental and bone analysis. They appeared to have been well-nourished, consuming significant amounts of natural sugars and carbohydrates, a rarity among ancient farming communities. This suggests access to stored food supplies or imported goods during a period of economic growth under Roman rule in Britain. However, the high sugar intake came with drawbacks. Poor oral hygiene, tooth decay, and premature tooth loss were common among the remains. Although the individual identities remain unknown, it is clear these were not outcasts or executed criminals. On the contrary, the care taken in the burial process, from the arrangement of the skulls to the placement of grave goods, indicates a certain level of respect for the deceased. They may have been members of a religious group or tribe, holding the belief that separating the head from the body after death would help the soul achieve release, preventing unwanted reincarnation, or simply a ritual to distinguish the dead from the living world. Archaeologists are currently in the process of carefully removing all skeletal remains from the site for further detailed analysis. Once research is complete, the entire collection will be handed over to a local museum for long-term display, education, and study. This is not only a way to preserve a part of human history, but also a valuable opportunity for the public to engage with previously hidden mysteries surrounding funerary rites in the ancient Roman world. This groundbreaking find reaffirms that ancient secrets still lie buried beneath the earth, waiting to be uncovered. What appears to be an ordinary cemetery conceals eerie burial rituals that bring us closer to understanding the spiritual beliefs and concepts of life and death held by people of the past. It is in places like this, where history, archaeology, and legend intersect, that we truly sense the vividness and complexity of civilizations that vanished thousands of years ago. The mystery of a 345-pound treasure beneath a house foundation in China. On what seemed like an ordinary morning in Cha Village, located in Jingdezhen City, Jiangxi Province, famously known throughout China as the porcelain capital for over 1,700 years, a group of locals digging the foundation for a new house unexpectedly uncovered a treasure. But it wasn't gold, jade, or gems. Instead, hundreds of thousands of ancient coins, covered in mud, lay silently beneath the earth for more than 800 years. According to the Jiangnan Metropolis Daily, the total weight of this treasure is approximately 5.6 metric tons, equivalent to about 12,345 pounds, and consists of around 300,000 ancient coins dating back to the Song dynasty, which ruled China from 960 to 1279 AD. The discovery immediately shook Cha Village, not only because of the sheer scale of the treasure, but also because of the historical mysteries it might unlock. Shortly after the news spread, local authorities and archaeology experts from the Jiangxi Provincial Museum quickly intervened. An official excavation began on October 22, just days after the initial find. Police were deployed to secure the site, preventing unauthorized digging that could disturb valuable artifacts. Beneath the hardened soil, countless barrels of coins were unearthed, heavily oxidized and coated in greenish bronze corrosion. While the coins have little material value today, they were common currency during the Song era. Each coin is an invaluable clue to reconstructing the economic, commercial, and social life of one of China's most illustrious dynasties. Feng Ruqin, head of the local museum, suggested 2 main theories about the origin of this massive hoard. One possibility is that it belonged to a wealthy group of merchants in the region who buried their assets as protection against war or unrest. Another theory is that the coins were held by a private bank, a rudimentary financial institution in ancient times that exchanged currency and safeguarded valuables for locals. Although the exact origin remains unknown, signs indicate the money was buried hastily without special protective structures, suggesting the owner faced an unexpected crisis and never returned to retrieve it. What makes this find even more significant is the historical context it reflects. The Song dynasty was famous for its flourishing monetary economy, extensive trade networks, and major advances in coin-casting technology. The discovered coins, while similar in shape, primarily bronze with square holes in the center, carry various reign marks representing emperors from Song Taizu to Song Ningzong. Feng explained that analyzing, cleaning, and cataloging the entire cache is expected to take 2 to 3 years due to the meticulousness and precision required in every step. The story doesn't end there. Although official excavation has been completed, many villagers in Cha continue to dig around the site in hopes of finding more treasure. Some families have even paused home construction, dreaming of striking it rich from their homeland's soil. This event quickly became a hot topic in media and historical forums, with images of ancient coins piled in sacks and wooden barrels widely circulated on Chinese social media. This unexpected discovery carries not only archaeological significance, but also ignites the modern human curiosity and thirst to uncover a glorious yet turbulent past. Centuries may fade surface traces, but what lies deep underground silently tells its story, through every coin, every layer of soil, every event buried by time. It is through accidental finds like this that we recognize archaeology's priceless value, reviving what seemed forgotten and restoring history through each brick and handful of earth once thought meaningless. Over 800 years later, the treasure beneath Cha village is not only an artifact of a bygone era, but also a symbol of the magical connection between present-day humanity and a distant past. Once again, history speaks, not in words, but through the silent metal mass lying beneath the brown earth, reminding us that beneath every step we take, there may lie an epic chapter waiting to be uncovered. The oldest stone road in the world. Hidden beneath the dust of time in Egypt's arid desert lies an ancient road few would expect. It is not a simple worn path made by nomads or a dirt track of primitive tribes, but an actual constructed road, paved with stone, stretching over 7.5 miles long and dating back more than 4,300 years. Known as the Moeris Road, this is not only the oldest paved stone road ever recorded in human history, but also a powerful testament to the advanced engineering skills of ancient Egyptian civilization. Located in the Fayum region, a district not far from today's Cairo, the road was built sometime between 2500 and 2100 BCE, during Egypt's Old Kingdom period, the same era when the great immortal pyramids of Giza were constructed. The road extends 7.5 miles, connecting a basalt quarry deep within the sandstone region to the ancient Lake Moeris, a natural water body that once connected to the Nile River during historical flood seasons. What amazes archaeologists and modern engineers is not only the road's age, but also its solid structure and the sophisticated construction techniques that the ancient Egyptians applied thousands of years ago. The surface is paved with sandstone and limestone slabs, averaging about 8 feet wide enough for teams of stone-hauling carts to pass. Notably, on some steep sections, the Egyptians used wooden sledges similar to sleds, an extremely clever method that helped transport multi-ton basalt blocks safely and efficiently from the quarry down to the lake. According to the American Society of Civil Engineers, ASCE, the road's elevation at that time was approximately 65 feet above sea level. Using an ingenious irrigation management system, the Egyptians exploited the Nile's flood seasons to transport basalt stones via canals and boats downstream to Giza, where tombs, temples, and monuments were being built. Even more astonishingly, Moeris Road is not just the oldest paved stone road ever found. It is the only road built this way by the ancient Egyptians. Some segments feature tightly fitted stone slabs, showcasing meticulous workmanship and engineering calculations, while other parts appear more randomly arranged, possibly due to changing terrain or varying purposes. Geologist James Harrell from the University of Toledo, who has extensively studied this road, stated, "This road may not compare to the pyramids in terms of scale, but it is an engineering marvel not to be overlooked. We never even thought that ancient Egyptians built real roads like this." While there are older routes in the world, such as England's Ridgeway National Trail, which has existed for over 5,000 years. The key difference is that Ridgeway is a natural dirt path that was never paved, whereas Moeris Road is a fully man-made structure with clear design, construction, and purpose. Ridgeway stretches over 87 miles, starting from the Avebury area, a World Heritage Site famous for its massive stone circles, and runs through dry highlands, avoiding dense forests below. It once served as an important corridor for shepherds, traders, and even prehistoric armies traveling across southern England. However, if Ridgeway was a natural prehistoric route, Moeris Road stands as a symbol of intentional space creation, serving a grander purpose, building structures of eternal significance. It reflects not only a highly organized workforce, but also the technical vision of the ancient Egyptians, leveraging natural resources, water flow, and available tools to execute timeless projects. Looking back, amid the mysteries of the pyramids, the Sphinx, and royal tombs, we may have overlooked something seemingly simple but profoundly important: a road. A small stone road cutting through the barren desert, yet carrying the pinnacle of engineering and human intellect from over 4,000 years ago. And perhaps on this road, the silent footsteps of history have quietly left their marks, now telling us a story as majestic as the towering pyramids that rise above the Egyptian sky. The 6 shocking archaeological discoveries made in 2025 that shook the world. The 12 Sao skeletons beneath Indiana Jones's treasure, a groundbreaking discovery in Petra, Jordan. Beneath the silent earth of one of the Middle East's most mysterious ancient landmarks, the world-famous treasury carved into the stone city of Petra, archaeologists have made a discovery that could completely change everything humanity once believed about the Nabatean people. Beneath layers of pink sandstone, right where a scene from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade was filmed, fully intact human skeletons were found deep inside an ancient chamber, buried for thousands of years, uncovered during a daring excavation. This was no accidental find. It was the result of years of persistence, a stroke of luck, and the deep passion of scientists from around the world. Petra, the ancient capital of the Nabateans, master artisans who carved an entire majestic city into the heart of a mountain, now has yet another story to tell. Unlike previous excavations, where tombs were often empty or scattered with broken bones, this time an entire burial room was unearthed, measuring about 60 square feet in area and standing nearly 10 feet tall. What makes this so extraordinary is the presence of 12 complete skeletons, a number never before recorded in a single tomb at Petra. This has raised pressing questions among experts. Could this be a royal crypt, or perhaps the final resting place of high-ranking figures in Nabatean society? A key contributor to this astonishing discovery is Professor Richard Bates, a geophysicist from the University of St. Andrews in Scotland. Working alongside an international archaeological team and Jordanian experts, he used ground-penetrating radar, GPR, to scan for anomalies beneath the rock floor. Early signals indicating underground voids eventually led them to the mysterious chamber. Although the tomb was first hinted at back in 2003, it took over 2 decades, and the return of major international archaeological missions, the support of the Expedition Unknown TV series on Discovery Channel, and cooperation from Jordanian authorities for the hidden doorway to finally be revealed. But this find isn't just bones and dirt. In the hand of one of the skeletons was discovered an ancient ceramic vessel, remarkably similar in shape to the legendary Holy Grail of Western myth. Could it be that the intersection of legend, archaeology, and cinema has only deepened the mystique of this land? Pierce Paul Kriesman, an archaeologist from the American Center of Research and lead researcher of the team, stated that this is only the tip of the iceberg. He posed a challenging question. When was the treasury actually built? Why? And was it truly a royal tomb as we've long believed? By analyzing the teeth, bones, and burial artifacts, scientists hope to uncover never-before-known information about the Nabatean way of life, their diet, health, burial rituals, and even diseases. The Nabateans once flourished from the 4th century BCE until they were conquered by the Romans in 106 CE. From these fossilized remains, researchers aim to reconstruct an entire society that has slept beneath the sandstone of the Middle East for over 2,000 years. Yet the path ahead is far from easy. Excavating all 12 skeletons, conducting DNA testing, radiocarbon dating, and full skeletal reconstruction will require significant funding. and the archaeological team is currently seeking grants for the next phase of research. The mummified singer in the stunningly beautiful coffin. A long time ago, a woman living in Thebes, Egypt, was mummified and placed inside an extraordinarily beautiful coffin. For 2,700 years, her remains lay undisturbed, until the coffin was damaged in Brazil. The woman inside it was a significant figure in Egyptian society. Exquisite and honorable artifacts were placed in her coffin to accompany her journey to the afterlife. Therefore, the destruction of her coffin is a tragic loss, as it was one of the rarest ancient coffins ever discovered. The 2,700-year-old mummy in question was named Shah-Amun-Ensu. During her life, she was both a temple singer and a priestess in ancient Egypt during the 22nd dynasty. Under the reign of Pharaoh Shishak-Shishonk-Freers, very little is known about Shah-Amun-Ensu, except for the hieroglyphs inscribed on her coffin. Fortunately, scientists were able to study and analyze the coffin before it was damaged. According to the inscriptions, Shah-Amun-Ensu held the title of Heset, which means singer. One line of hieroglyphs reveals that she was the daughter of a singer who served in the temple of Amun. Based on historical understanding, members of the Heset were women who served both as singers and priestesses at Amun's temple. They were responsible for performing sacred rituals and hymns in honor of the gods and goddesses. During ceremonies and festivals, Shah-Amun-Ensu took part in rituals and sang hymns praising Amun. It's unclear when, where, and by whom her coffin was excavated. It is only known that it was found somewhere near Thebes, though the exact location remains unknown. There is no record of her family, but one hieroglyphic inscription reveals that she had an adopted daughter. What we do know is that Emperor Dom Pedro II of Brazil visited Egypt in 1875 and was gifted this magnificent coffin containing the intact mummy of Shah-Amun-Ensu by Egyptian Khedive Ismail Pasha. A lover of history and ancient Egyptian culture, Dom Pedro II brought the coffin back to Brazil and displayed it in the São Cristóvão Palace, where it remained on display until 1889. After leaving her homeland for Brazil, the coffin of the mysterious temple singer suffered its first accident during a storm. Winds knocked the coffin off its display stand, causing it to fall and crash into the window of Emperor Dom Pedro II's office. Though the coffin was repaired, it was never restored to its original condition. Later, it was moved from the Imperial Palace to the National Museum of Rio de Janeiro, where it remained on display and under study for many years. Because the coffin of Shah-Amun-Ensu was never opened, scientists could only study the mummy inside using X-ray technology. Based on their analysis, the ancient singer is believed to have died at around 50 years old, though the exact cause of death remains unknown. However, her body appeared well preserved, with no signs of trauma or injury, suggesting that Shah-Amun-Ensu died of natural causes. Remarkably, her teeth were intact. Her throat was carefully wrapped in a resin-coated layer, likely intended to protect her voice, ensuring she could continue singing sacred hymns in the afterlife. Among her burial treasures was a stunning heart-shaped scarab, carved from green stone and inscribed with her name. Sadly, on September 2, 2018, a devastating fire engulfed the National Museum of Rio de Janeiro. The coffin, the mysterious ancient singer's mummy, and all of her golden artifacts were lost to the flames. For historians, archaeologists, and anyone passionate about ancient Egyptian history, it was a heartbreaking and irretrievable loss. Everything connected to Shah-Amun-Ensu has been lost forever. Her life may remain an ancient mystery, one that we may never be able to fully unravel. The 1,800-year-old woman's intact remains, found in a Roman cremation cemetery. At an ancient Roman cremation cemetery in the village of Gak, in southeastern Poland, where it seemed that every trace of life had long turned to ash with the passing of time, a discovery has stunned the archaeological world. During the excavation of a Roman-era burial complex dating back to the 2nd century CE, archaeologists uncovered what seemed impossible. Two remarkably well-preserved skeletons, one belonging to a woman around 30 years old, and the other to a small child, found in the middle of more than 100 cremation pits, where all other human remains had been reduced to ash. What allowed these two individuals to escape the fate shared by the rest of the cemetery? The answer lay deep beneath layers of ancient soil, where time appeared to have stood still, miraculously preserving them. This woman wasn't just another buried body. She had been carefully laid to rest in a wooden coffin beneath a mound known as a kurgan, a type of elaborate burial structure used in parts of ancient Europe. This kind of burial was highly uncommon for the community at the time, especially within a cemetery dedicated to cremation. That detail led researchers to believe she may have held a position of high status, possibly a tribal leader, a religious figure, or a politically or culturally influential woman. Not far from her grave lay the small skeleton of a child, so well preserved that scientists were able to extract and precisely analyze oxygen levels in the child's teeth. While it might sound unusual, this method provides a wealth of information, from the child's diet and geographical origins to clues about social class. For example, if the oxygen analysis shows the child consumed a variety of rich foods, it might suggest they were part of the upper class, raising the question, could the child be related by blood to the woman? That question remains unanswered for now. Even more astonishing is the fact that, in a cemetery where over 100 individuals were cremated, only these two were buried intact. Why were they the exception? According to the team led by Dr. Anna Lasota-Kus from the Polish Academy of Sciences, one major factor lies in the unique soil composition of the site. The local ecosystem appears to possess exceptional preservative qualities, dramatically slowing decomposition and allowing nearly intact skeletal remains to survive nearly 2 millennia, something extremely rare for simple wooden coffin burials. And it wasn't just the bones. The area also yielded a treasure trove of Roman artifacts, including jewelry, tools, and pottery, all in exceptional condition. These items not only help reconstruct daily life during the Roman period in Poland, but also offer new clues about trade, migration, and cultural exchange between the Roman Empire and local Eastern European communities. A 5,000-year-old Egyptian manuscript holds a terrifying message for humanity. Amid the scorching sands and the mysterious ruins of Saqqara, a burial ground that ranks among Egypt's most ancient and revered, archaeologists have unearthed one of the most enigmatic and provocative documents in human history. A 5,000-year-old manuscript, meticulously sealed within a deep tomb, hidden beneath layers of earth and stone untouched for millennia. At first glance, it appeared to be nothing more than a fragile fragment of ancient papyrus, but upon closer inspection, it revealed itself to be a profound work filled with warnings, cryptic symbols, and bone-chilling prophecies that modern scholars believe could completely reshape our understanding of the ancient world, and even the fate of our current civilization. What makes this manuscript truly earth-shattering is not just its staggering age, possibly older than Egypt's earliest dynasties, but its content. Reflections on the cycles of imperial collapse, humanity's role in the universe, and most shockingly, the influence of unseen cosmic forces. Written in both hieroglyphics and hieratic script, a form of cursive writing used by ancient Egyptian scribes, this document has baffled experts who are painstakingly decoding its lines. Many of the symbols found in the manuscript have never appeared in any other known Egyptian texts, suggesting it may be a secret code intended only for high priests or keepers of ancient wisdom. According to researchers, the manuscript bears eerie similarities to the Book of Enoch, a mystical text from Jewish and Christian traditions believed to hold ancient knowledge about humanity's origins and the intervention of supernatural entities in our history. But this Egyptian manuscript goes even further. It outlines a fateful cycle of reincarnation in which human beings are trapped in endless patterns of rise, decay, and destruction, cycles that can only be broken by decoding a mysterious destiny code. The text warns that the immoral, the ignorant, and the greedy will suffer punishment even after death, where peace becomes a luxury and souls are tormented in eternal agony. Every action, every decision in life is seen as a puzzle piece that shapes not only an individual's destiny, but also the collective fate of their entire community. Beyond the manuscript itself, the tomb where it was discovered contained other baffling artifacts that left archaeologists stunned. Strangely deformed skulls believed to result from some kind of ritual, metallic models theorized to represent unknown energy or astronomical systems, and most disturbingly, the screaming mummy, a corpse preserved with a horrifying expression of agony, as if frozen in the middle of torment. All of these elements suggest a gruesome and ancient ritual, shrouded in mystery. Perhaps the most chilling part of the manuscript is its warning that history could repeat itself if humanity continues to ignore the signs of downfall. The sequence of symbols indicates that past empires collapsed precisely at the height of their arrogance, when they exploited resources beyond repair and drifted away from the universal laws of balance. Possessing a cosmic understanding far beyond their time, the ancient Egyptians may have left behind a grave message. If we keep disregarding the natural and cosmic order, our civilization might meet the same fate as those that came before us. Although much of the manuscript remains undeciphered, today's advanced technologies, ranging from spectral imaging and material analysis to AI-driven translation systems, are offering new hope of unlocking its deeper layers. Once fully decoded, this ancient text may provide unprecedented insight into the spiritual beliefs and philosophical worldviews of pre-dynastic Egypt, and could shake the foundations of our current understanding of history, civilization, and humanity's place in the cosmos. The Roman dodecahedron, the ancient artifact that has all of Britain intrigued. In the quiet fields of the Midlands, once trodden by the Roman Empire thousands of years ago, an amateur archaeology group stumbled upon one of the most mysterious and puzzling artifacts ever discovered in the United Kingdom. A 12-sided copper alloy object about the size of a grapefruit that left even seasoned archaeologists speechless. No one truly understands what it was used for. Unlike the broken fragments that have been found scattered across Europe, this particular object was almost perfectly intact, discovered precisely where it had been deliberately placed more than 1,700 years ago. With 12 equal flat faces, each marked with circular holes and curious protruding knobs, the artifact instantly sparked a cascade of questions. Was it a practical tool, a child's toy, or something far more sacred? Even though more than 100 Roman dodecahedrons have been uncovered to date, not a single Roman document has ever described them. No engravings, no texts, no illustrations. That absence of written records has made it one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in European archaeology. Some theorize it was a measuring device. Others believe it was used to hold ritual candles, play dice games, or even serve as part of a knitting tool, like the end of a glove. But all these remain pure speculation. No theory has yet presented enough convincing evidence to settle the debate once and for all. According to Dr. Lorena Hitchens, a specialist currently researching the object in the UK, if the Romans went to such lengths to craft this dodecahedron with such precision, then clearly it wasn't just some trivial item. The Norton Disney Group, the team that discovered the artifact, also believes it may have had ceremonial or religious significance. After all, ancient Roman society was deeply rooted in superstition. From sacred rituals and omen readings to protective charms, the Romans believed the divine touched every aspect of daily life. And perhaps this mysterious dodecahedron was part of a sacred rite we no longer understand. Even more astonishing is the timing of its discovery. A Monday near the end of June, just as the team believed they were wrapping up their dig for the season. When it seemed there was nothing left to find, the ancient earth revealed one last, priceless treasure, leaving the group overwhelmed with excitement. The artifact is now on display at the National Civil War Center in Newark Museum, drawing thousands of visitors each month. It was also featured on the BBC's popular series Digging for Britain. But the story isn't over. The Norton Disney team plans to return to the site later this year, hoping to uncover new clues that might finally explain the true purpose of the 12-sided enigma. Was it an agricultural calendar? A key to unlocking spiritual doors in the ancient Roman world? For now, it remains firmly on the list of history's unsolved puzzles. But perhaps that's exactly what keeps archaeologists so enchanted. Because sometimes, what makes history so fascinating isn't the answer, but the questions no one has dared to solve yet. The Haunted Island, beside Manhattan's dazzling lights and its blood-soaked history. Just a stone's throw from the bustling heart of Manhattan, where the lights never go out, lies a small island cloaked in darkness and tragedy. Its name is North Brother Island, and for decades, it served as a quarantine zone for patients suffering from deadly infectious diseases like smallpox, tuberculosis, and leprosy. It's also tied to one of the most infamous medical cases in American history, that of Mary Typhoid Mallon, the woman who unknowingly carried and spread typhoid fever to dozens, if not hundreds, of victims. From the 1880s until 1943, this remote 22-acre island was used to isolate individuals shunned by society, those suffering from incurable contagious illnesses. Hidden away from the vibrant chaos of New York City, these patients were confined in hopes of preventing outbreaks on the mainland. Mary Mallon, known as Typhoid Mary, worked as a cook in affluent households throughout New York. Despite showing no symptoms herself, she infected over 100 people with typhoid through her cooking, many of whom died. Eventually, she was forcibly quarantined on North Brother Island in a small wooden cottage near Riverside Hospital, where she remained until her death in 1938. Her story became a chilling reminder of the silent threat of asymptomatic carriers. But tragedy didn't end with Mary or the quarantined patients. In 1904, one of New York's deadliest disasters unfolded just offshore. The General Slocum steamboat caught fire and sank in the East River, claiming the lives of over 1,000 passengers, mostly women and children from St. Mark's Evangelical Lutheran Church who were on a summer outing. Bodies washed up on the shores of North Brother Island for days, staining the island's history with unspeakable grief. Years later, the island was briefly repurposed to house World War II veterans before it was abandoned in 1963. Not long after, it was turned into a rehabilitation center for drug-addicted youth, where patients were subjected to harsh withdrawal treatments, including forced isolation. Though intended to help, the program was widely criticized. Many teens felt more like prisoners than patients, detained against their will and subjected to a system more punitive than therapeutic. Allegations of cruelty and injustice only deepened the eerie reputation that clung to the island like fog. Today, North Brother Island is a ghost of its former self, overrun by nature. Crumbling buildings covered in moss, wild overgrowth, and silence tell the story of a place long forgotten by time. Beds, chairs, and bathtubs once used by residents now sit decayed and broken. The island has become a sanctuary for birds, especially herons, and is officially designated as an important bird area, protected by city authorities. Due to the dangerous state of the buildings, the public is not allowed to visit without special permission, leaving the island shrouded in mystery just a short distance from one of the most energetic cities on Earth. Nearby lies South Brother Island, which was abandoned in 1909 after a fire destroyed the summer home of a beer baron. Like its northern twin, South Brother is frozen in time, another relic left behind in the relentless march of modern life. Less than a mile to the south, Rikers Island looms, a complex known for housing New York City's largest jail facilities. Together, these islands form a shadowy corner of the city, filled with stories of power, isolation, and sorrow. North Brother Island and its ruins stand as a powerful reminder of a past few remember, through tales of disease, disaster, imprisonment, and abandonment. This haunting island remains one of the most mysterious and historically rich sites for those drawn to forgotten stories and unsolved secrets. A strange hybrid skeleton just discovered, but the secret behind it shocked archaeologists. The mysterious hybrid skeleton. There are archaeological discoveries that astonish people because of their rarity, some findings that force researchers to rethink human history, and then there are strange cases so unusual that they seem like legends. And guess what? The story of two 3,000-year-old skeletons unearthed on an island near Scotland is one of those discoveries, both chilling and mysterious, opening entirely new perspectives on how our ancestors faced life and death. What makes them special isn't the age or the location of the find, but the fact that these are not the remains of two separate individuals. Each skeleton is a hybrid, assembled from parts of three different bodies, male and female, old and young, mixing past and legend in every bone and joint. The story begins in 2011, when a team of archaeologists excavated two mummies at a site called Clad Hallen on the island of South-Uist, Scotland, a remote, windy place that was once home to a Bronze Age community. At first, people thought these were simply naturally preserved mummies, like many found in peat bogs across Europe. But modern scientific analyses, ranging from CT scans and DNA testing to radiocarbon dating, revealed an unbelievable truth. The heads, torsos, and limbs of these bodies did not belong to the same person. They were the product of a deliberate assembly process. Our ancestors had taken separate bones from different family members and connected them to form a complete skeleton, as if piecing together a common ancestor. Creepy? Maybe, but this doesn't diminish the cultural significance and spiritual depth behind the act. Some researchers believe that combining body parts from multiple people wasn't random or blind superstition. Instead, It may reflect a profound philosophy about the connection between generations, that the dead didn't fully leave this world but continued to exist as a new spiritual entity, made up of the memories and bodies of those they once loved. This idea makes even more sense in the context of the Bronze Age, when clan, family, and community bonds were sacred and far stronger than the modern concept of individuality. Another notable hypothesis, proposed by Professor Mike Parker Pearson, leader of the research team, suggests that ancient people may have kept bodies for many years before burial. They might have preserved the remains by placing them in naturally drying environments such as earth pits, peat bogs, or smoke huts, preventing rapid decay. Then, when the time was right, they assembled and buried the remains according to a ritual we do not yet fully understand. Keeping the bones may have served not only as a form of remembrance, but also as a way for ancestors to continue being present in community activities, as a spiritual support, a symbol of power, or a sacred protector. Moreover, the preservation techniques used by these ancient people have surprised modern scientists. No coffins, no chemicals, no technology, yet the bodies didn't decay in the usual way. This shows that these were not merely primitive people, but individuals with knowledge and understanding of the human body and environment, a fact that challenges our modern ideas of progress. When we look at these strange hybrid skeletons, the frightening part isn't their unusual appearance, but the feeling that each bone holds an untold story, a story of love, loss, and the effort to unite the living and the dead into a continuous flow. It challenges our modern notions of personal identity, death, and even what it means to be human. Perhaps to our ancestors, death wasn't an end but a transition to another form of existence, a form made from the memories and flesh of their dearest loved ones. Of course, this story isn't over yet. The skeletons remain buried underground, waiting to be decoded. Archaeologists continue to analyze each vertebra and bone segment to learn more about the techniques, rituals, and beliefs formed 3 millennia ago, hoping to unlock the secrets surrounding them. Let's wait and see. The mass grave of 796 Irish children. Hidden deep beneath the peaceful garden of a quiet neighborhood in Tuam, County Galway, Ireland, lies a historical secret that has shocked the conscience of an entire nation. After years of neglect, cover-up, and concealment, the truth about the fate of 796 infants and young children, believed to have died under mysterious circumstances at a Catholic church-run facility, is finally being uncovered. On Monday, archaeologists and forensic experts from around the world, including Colombia, Spain, the UK, Canada, Australia, and the United States, officially began a large-scale excavation to search for the remains of these children. Little souls once buried without identity in what used to be a cesspit area beside a playground of a mother and baby home. The excavation project is led by Daniel McSweeney, former special envoy of the International Committee of the Red Cross, who describes the mission as both profoundly humanitarian and unprecedentedly complex. The team's task is to sift through ancient underground sewage systems, believed to be a mass burial site for hundreds of children, and carefully piece together the bones to reconstruct intact skeletons and identify their identities. Initial signs revealing the scale and grim nature of the site emerged during a trial excavation from 2016 to 2017, when scientists found bones of children under 3 years old, including a fetus approximately 35 weeks gestation. Ground-penetrating radar later identified multiple anomalies beneath the surface, potential mass graves, located right where a playground once stood. The heartbreaking story began between 1925 and 1960, when Tuam was a compulsory residence for thousands of unmarried pregnant women. Women who were shunned by Irish society at the time and labeled as sins to be hidden. The facility was run by the Bon Secours nuns, and over more than 3 decades, 796 children died there, according to death records painstakingly collected by local historian Catherine Corless. What's terrifying is that there were no official burial records for these deaths, leading to suspicions that many children were secretly buried in the old septic tank of the facility, itself built on the site of a former workhouse dating back to the famine era. Corliss insists that the truth cannot remain buried forever. She said, "You can't build a monument and then think it's done. You can't bless a place where such wrongdoing happened." With tireless determination, she has reignited the flame of justice for hundreds of families, many of whom still live in despair, unsure if their children truly died or were illegally adopted out. Anna Corrigan, one of those with missing relatives at Tuam, said her two infant brothers, one aged 7 months, the other 13 months, died there, but no one knows where they were buried. For Corrigan, this excavation is the light at the end of a very long tunnel, though she remains cautious and doubtful about whether real answers will come. DNA testing is underway, with samples from 14 relatives already collected and about 80 others waiting for a chance at identification. Items recovered from the initial excavation, such as diaper pins, enamel plates, and baby bottles, not only provide evidence of the children's harsh lives, but may also help date the remains. Experts are applying advanced technology like dental enamel peptide analysis to determine gender and possibly cause of death. While many in the community welcome the excavation as a necessary step toward closing a dark chapter in the nation's history, not everyone agrees. Some locals believe the dead should be left to rest and worry that the excavation will reopen old wounds. But for people like PJ Haverty, who lived at the Tuam facility for over 6.5 years as a child and remembers it as a place of great suffering, where mothers were only allowed to nurse and change babies before being forced into hard labor, the excavation is wonderful, but it won't soothe the anger. According to him, that anger will remain with survivors and relatives until they leave this world. Meanwhile, questions remain about forged death records allegedly used to facilitate illegal adoptions to the United States. Corrigan poses a chilling question. Could they be living somewhere across the ocean, unaware that people in Ireland believe they are dead? With each shovel of earth and each bone uncovered, the Tuam excavation is not just digging up a buried history, it is confronting conscience, justice, and the collective memory of a nation. This is not just an archaeological journey, it is a journey to restore dignity to the little souls once forgotten by the world. What do you think would happen if one day the mystery of these tiny remains was fully revealed? Please share your thoughts below in the comments. The Sword in the Grass and the 1,000-Year Secret Beneath Hebei, China. In the 1980s, what seemed like a simple story held a profound historical mystery that began with a children's game in Hebei Province, China. The story goes that a group of children from a village decided to play hide-and-seek on a nearby mountain. While playing, one child accidentally discovered a strange object hidden in the grass. It was a sword covered in green rust and moss. Not realizing its true value, the children thought it was just an old piece of scrap metal that could be sold for money, so they took the sword to sell to a nearby scrap dealer. However, the scrap dealer did not recognize it as a precious artifact either, so the sword was mixed in with other scrap and forgotten as an ordinary piece of junk. It wasn't until 1985, when archaeologists from the Hebei Provincial Archaeological Institute were surveying cultural relics in the area, that the sword was rediscovered. Hebei, located at the heart of ancient Chinese civilization with many important tombs and historic sites, has long been a focus for experts seeking remnants of the past. When the archaeologists examined the sword, they quickly realized it was no ordinary item. After careful analysis, they found the sword was crafted from pure bronze, not iron as initially thought. Although oxidized and covered with a layer of green patina, the sword still preserved intricate patterns and a unique design, demonstrating the exquisite craftsmanship of metalworkers thousands of years ago. Recognizing the sword's special significance, experts suspected the mountain where the children played might hide many more valuable relics. They promptly contacted the scrap dealer to trace the sword's origin and gathered information from the children. Soon after, archaeologists, in coordination with local authorities, cordoned off the entire mountain area to prepare for a major excavation to uncover the secrets buried beneath the soil. The excavation lasted over 3 months, during which the entire mountain seemed turned upside down, as layers of earth were carefully dug up. The results far exceeded all expectations. Archaeologists discovered 48 ancient tombs dating back thousands of years, along with hundreds of intricately crafted bronze artifacts. The discovery of so many bronze burials indicated that this area was once home to or served as a burial site for an ancient community that flourished in its time. Based on historical records and artifact styles, experts identified this mountain as part of the Xiajiadian culture, a prominent Bronze Age culture that emerged around 800 BCE, nearly 2,700 years ago. Xiajiadian culture was closely linked to the Yan state, a northern vassal of the Zhou dynasty during the Western Zhou, Spring and Autumn, and Warring States periods. Through archaeological and historical research, scientists found that political upheavals and military conflicts likely caused the gradual decline of this culture, causing it to fade in the flow of history. Although millennia had damaged and oxidized many bronze relics, the remaining artifacts remain critically important for shedding light on various aspects of ancient Chinese bronze culture. These artifacts not only help decode burial customs and metalworking art, but also reflect the social, economic, and political complexities of the Spring and Autumn and Warring States eras. These discoveries have opened many new research directions on ancient Chinese history, providing deeper insights into the civilization that existed and evolved through different historical periods. What started as a children's game unexpectedly became one of the most significant archaeological finds, helping to revive a piece of history long buried beneath Hebei's soil. The bronze sword is not only proof of the ancestors' superb metalworking skills, but also a key to unlocking the mysteries of a legendary ancient culture. This reminds us once again that the past is always present around us, and sometimes it only takes a moment of chance to awaken forgotten values, connecting the present to the distant history. An 2,800-year-old Roman burial site beneath a North Wales University campus. In 2016, during renovation work on walkways at the Coleg Menai campus of Llangefni College in North Wales, an important archaeological discovery was accidentally uncovered underground when dozens of ancient skeletons were found inside stone coffins buried deep beneath the school grounds. The remains and burial artifacts were dated to approximately 1,800 years ago, belonging to the period of Roman occupation of Britain, opening a new chapter in the long history of this region. What makes this discovery especially remarkable is that the stone coffins helped preserve nearly intact skeletons, along with many bronze items decorated with distinct Celtic cultural motifs, creating a vivid and valuable archaeological picture. Over the course of several years of excavation that followed, archaeologists collected more than 50 skeletons and discovered a Roman coin from the 2nd century as well as numerous bronze artifacts. All of these findings clearly demonstrate that the area once served as an ancient cemetery, used by both Romans and local inhabitants as a resting place during a turbulent historical period. What is even more surprising is the carbon isotope analysis results, which showed that most of the bodies did not belong to the native population of Anglesey Island, where Llangefni College is located. Dr. Irene Garcia Rovira, a bioarchaeology expert, said, "Isotope analysis indicates that at least 2 individuals came from Scandinavia and 2 others from the Iberian Peninsula, suggesting this area was once a diverse cultural and population crossroads." This insight opens a profound story about the population diversity, migration, and cultural interactions during the Roman era in North Wales. These discoveries confirm that the burial site was not just a simple graveyard, but a testament to multiculturalism in Roman times, when Romans blended with local Celtic tribes and inhabitants from distant lands. Dr. Rovira also emphasized, this burial site has only been partially excavated, and the current findings will expand further as Welsh and Brythonic archaeology teams cooperate on larger excavations in the future. This promises many discoveries that could reshape our understanding of the region's history. Mr. David Evans, director of Group Landrillo Menai University, expressed excitement over the discovery, highlighting its importance in deepening the understanding of the long history and population diversity that inhabited Llangefni nearly 2,000 years ago. According to him, this find not only has academic value, but also helps the local community appreciate and connect with the rich past of the land where they live. Now, after the excavation concludes, all recovered artifacts and skeletal remains will be carefully preserved and displayed at the Llangefni Oriel Ynys Môn Museum Gallery, offering residents and researchers the opportunity to admire and explore one of the most significant historical periods of North Wales and Britain in general. This discovery not only helps illuminate mysteries about life and death in Roman times, but also stands as a testament to the endurance of history, preserved for thousands of years and waiting for people today and in the future to continue unfolding fascinating new chapters. Ancient skeleton with arm transformed into a deadly weapon. In an ancient burial ground in the Lombardy region of southern Italy, archaeologists have unearthed the unusual remains of a medieval warrior, one whose amputated arm had been replaced with a combat knife. This discovery not only sheds new light on the life of the Lombards, a tribe that ruled much of Italy from the 6th to 8th centuries AD, but also raises intriguing questions about medicine, warfare, and humanity in the post-Roman era. The skeleton was found in a tomb among hundreds of others in a vast cemetery. What makes this burial particularly remarkable is the presence of a headless horse and several dogs alongside the warrior's grave, suggesting a special funerary ritual that may symbolize loyalty, strength, or social status. Archaeologists estimate the man died between the ages of 40 and 50, a notable lifespan considering the low average life expectancy of the time, especially for those who frequently faced battle. What stunned experts was the discovery of a knife attached to the remains of his right arm, which had been amputated, a testament to extraordinary survival and adaptation. Through detailed analysis, researchers determined that the man's right arm was severed with a single cut, likely inflicted during combat. There is no evidence indicating he died from this wound, meaning he survived for many years after losing part of his limb, a rare feat in an era without antibiotics or modern medical knowledge. Even more impressive, the man not only survived but apparently learned to wield a knife in place of his hand by fastening it tightly to his forearm. This is supported by pronounced wear marks on his teeth, indicating he frequently used his mouth to help secure or adjust the weapon. Several theories have been proposed for the loss of his arm: a combat injury, an accident, or even a form of punishment. However, given the Lombards' warrior culture, the most likely explanation is that he lost his arm in battle. The Lombards were a tribe originating from northern Europe, known for their fierce fighting skills, military discipline, and warrior-based social structure. They conquered and ruled Italy for nearly 200 years, leaving a lasting impact on the region's history and culture. This warrior skeleton, with a weapon integrated into his body, may well symbolize the unyielding spirit of the Lombard people in the face of adversity. Another noteworthy aspect is evidence suggesting that the man received long-term care and support from his community, surviving an arm amputation and living long enough to effectively use a replacement weapon implies that others tended to his wounds, provided food, and helped him reintegrate into the life of a fighter. In a society where physical strength was crucial for survival, this indicates that the Lombards were not only fierce warriors, but also cared for and protected their members who had fought for them. The existence of this man, bearing a mutilated yet resolute body, stands as a testament to the solidarity and compassion that persisted during what is often considered a dark age. Do you think so too? Don't hesitate to share your thoughts with us by leaving a comment below this video. And don't forget to give the channel a like and subscribe so you won't miss any other exciting discoveries. For now, goodbye and see you next time.